Okay, Mario, and continuing with this project, this is a full-scale RC go-kart based on the MIA Robo Kart, which is a radio control miniature go-kart that I did a few years back. So this is following the same architecture, in the H shape for the base. I just finished my steering not too long ago. This is using these blocks right here that I had from a printer that I took apart. This came with ball bearings, and it just so happens that that ball bearing had a 3/8 inch shaft, which in order to do this setup here in my steering, I just took a EMT and I inserted a bolt, a 3/8 inch bolt inside there with a machined aluminum adapter, so it retains the bolt center line with or concentric with the tubing there, and so it rides on this block here, aluminum block with the ball bearings there. This is just a bracket, one of these brackets, T brackets that I modify. I was going to use this as my spindles, but I decided not to do that because when I bent this, one of them broke right here. I mean, I could have welded, but I decided to do this one instead here because I only had one. And then I decided to buy steel stock and do my brackets there. Do you see them? my spindles. This is not your conventional type of bracket that's welded to the front end here. Instead, what I did is what I did on my earlier and smaller go-kart that I built with telescopic tubing. Is I just made a C bracket and I attached the bolt. It's a lot easier this way, and this whole thing rides on the square tubing right here. So it's a very positive a pivot point right there. You can see my welds there. I on the inside here, I rounded that off with an end mill. Put this on my milling machine, and then I milled that, rounded. I couldn't grind that with my grinder. I just didn't have a long enough disc, and so I just did that on the mill. This right here needs a little more cleanup work right here, but with the grinder, I'm going to clean up here and just put round this off before I paint these. Same thing here. I did these arms on an angle. They have about a 5-degree angle, towards the back, because I want to establish Ackerman angles, and so this allows me to do that. This is intended to have another hole here, maybe one here, and maybe a couple other holes here, just to give me better angles. But it's not critical because this is not really, I'm not designing this for racing. I'm just doing this for fun. It's got the hoverboard motor. Same thing I used on the one that I took apart, my original go-kart done with that type of square steel tubing. I took that apart completely so that I can reuse these motors here. I do have another set of these that I'm going to rebuild that one when I can find some decent brackets for that. By the way, those need 1-inch spacing on centers brackets, which are rare, very rare. You won't find brackets like that, so you either have to make your own, or have somebody CNC or die stamp those brackets, which I'm in the process of also working with somebody to do that. But that's the reason why I did this one with just fencing material. This steel 1.5 inch square tubing, it's used for fencing for gates. So I have a bunch of that stuff, so I decided to use that, not let it go to waste. My steering, once again, these blocks, I had 2 of these. One is with the ball bearings. This one I had to machine down so that I can put those Delrin shoulder washers, so this rides pivots not as smooth as a ball bearing, but it's plenty smooth, for control of the steering here. Steering here, I have to work on the steering wheel. I'm going to do something similar with conduit that I did for my racing go-kart. This right here, I am going to be talking about this steering setup here. This has to be done right, otherwise it binds, with. So the best way to do this is just to have those rods as parallel as possible, in line, with this front end here, and not on an angle like that. Just to establish a more true and less so they don't bind. And so I was revisiting my steering mechanism that I did for my racing go-kart with the empty tubing and maker pipe connectors. So I'm using a maker pipe connector here, and the way I do this is you can see this is an EMT tubing, but look at that shape right there. How did I do that shape? I did this with a die. I 3D printed just a PLA die that I designed, you know, so that I can do these type of ends on the AMT tubing. That's how I did my go-kart, my racing go-kart. I have a whole post on that at Maker Pipe website, and I also have videos on how I did this, you know, to establish this these bends here, these folds, these dents, you know, so that it mates with the maker pipe connector right there, and I don't have to drill another hole on the connector itself. I hate to drill holes, you know, on these connectors, so I decided to do this instead. I mean, the other way around would be to just leave this about like that is a regular unmodified EMT tubing round, and then come back and drill a hole right here to retain this so this doesn't swivel inside the connector. So this is how I get around, by doing this, you know, with that custom die that I created. I'm about to install this on this. I'm about to install this on this steering shaft here. And as you can see, it's going to be about right there. So it's going to be close to the base here, but not too close where it you know, it gets in the way or binds. So this is going to give me that steering arm right there. I don't know what they call it. This has a name. I forget the name for go-karts, but it's going to be my arm, and that's how I'm doing it. Just FYI, in this video, this is going to be video 7, I believe, of this project right here. What else? Yeah, I still have to do the seat, and you know, little by little, this is coming along. It's going to be a really nice go-kart. My wheels are supposed to come in tomorrow. I ordered some of these 8-inch wheels for these are from Razor scooters, Razor 100, I think they are. The front end of the wheel, which has a these actually have a 3/8 shaft, and so these right now are kind of temporary, these wheels. But I did order some aluminum ones, aluminum hubs, you know, so that it matches that aluminum wheel at the rear, you know, so we have aluminum and aluminum. Otherwise, it looks kind of cheesy with you know, with these wheels just like that, these plastic hubs. So that should be nice. This, of course, is going to be painted. These parts will be painted in black, and I may cover this in heat shrink tubing, the same stuff that I did my racing go-kart with, just to give it a nice finish, you know, so it doesn't look too homemade, you know, the CMT tubing. So I had to clean that up a little bit more. I just left it gummy here from this label. So I'm going to do that, paint this. Once I get the seat, it's going to be, I'm still working on the on some designs here. I'm not sure which seat I'm going to use. I have a few options. You know, I have those chairs that are made for older children, you know, for school. I have a bunch of those chairs that I could use. Those work really nice because they're like bucket seats, but they have to be reinforced because it's plastic. There needs to be, you know, they're just for sitting. They're not for putting pressure on it. So that's one option. The other option is just to make my own, you know, just from scratch. So we'll see how that turns out. But anyway, this is where I'm at. Stay tuned for the continuation of this project. Once again, thanks for watching.